Hello and welcome to another Woman of the Week. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader for the Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I am very excited to introduce you to Lisa McGarvey, VP, Data, AI, and IoT Solution Verticals and Alliances for TD Synnex. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks, Jackie. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's dive in to some icebreakers. So, where do you live and where did you grow up if that's different?
So I live in the suburbs of Pennsylvania near King of Prussia. I always tell everyone King of Prussia because there's a big mall here, so everyone seems to know it. It's a
I
good
grew up near
landmark.
there. Yes,
Okay,
I'm very
awesome.
familiar with King of Prussia.
Very cool. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So I live here now. I actually grew up in South Jersey. So after I went to college in Philadelphia, I stayed on the Pennsylvania side.
That's very cool. I love it when I end up meeting someone who's lived, where either near where I grew up or, it's just cool because you think like, oh,
Yes,
it's just a small little place or whatever. But
it's
very
such a
cool.
small world.
Yeah. All right. So, if you don't mind sharing, what's a little known fact about you?
I have to say, just I love to travel. I love to go to different beaches. I love to travel overseas to Europe. Anytime I can get to travel, I just love seeing new places. And it always helps if there's a beach, but it doesn't have to be.
Fair, fair. That's awesome. I follow your passion there, but I might grab a ski slope.
Nice. I have to work on my skiing.
All right. So, how did you first start your career in tech?
So I first started in college. I went to Drexel University and they have a co-op program, and I got a job at a technology vendor, and I worked there part-time during college. And then after college, they offered me a job, and I've been in technology ever since. So for the past 25 years, it's been a whirlwind of different roles in technology, and probably never really thought I'd be in this industry, but it's been very exciting.
Awesome. During your career so far, what is a lesson or insight that has been important to you as a woman working in technology?
I think, lessons I've learned, one of the big ones is that it's okay to say no and to really set boundaries for yourself. I always felt like working that I needed to say yes to everything. If I said yes, I'd be the best performer, I'd get the visibility I needed. And that, there's a feeling of like you need to take everything on to be successful. And I think many of us are concerned about, being passed up on opportunities and promotions. So you kind of feel like sometimes you have to do all these things, and there's some fear and anxiety with saying no, right? And especially when many of us, we want to say yes, but there's so many competing things and priorities going on in our life. And I've just learned there's certain things that I don't want to miss out on in my life, and there's things that are important in my life. I want to see my kids play sports. I want to spend time with them and be with them for some special events. So I've struggled, but I have to know that I don't need to say yes to everything. And that's work and personal, right? Like there's things in my
Yeah.
personal life that I have to say no to because there's things that I want to prioritize, both work and personal, and prioritizing those things helps me have a better balance, and it helps me to kind of sit back and acknowledge those accomplishments that I have, even if they're small, right? Even if I get to leave work and pick up my kids and take them for ice cream, right? For me, that's a win. Or
That
just
is
if
a
I
win.
have a checklist for work of a couple things that I got to, hey, I did these things today, that's a win, right? So kind of acknowledging those small wins, and prioritizing, what you really want to get done.
I love that. That great advice. Definitely can relate to you, and I know that will resonate with our listeners. Um, Having the relevant knowledge to drive business outcomes is an ongoing effort in technology. So, how do you get the relevant market insights, ongoing education, specialization, and development resources to stay at the forefront?
Yeah, it's hard, right? Personal development is a great investment in yourself, but it's hard when you're busy and you're working on different things and you're trying to juggle things. So I really push myself to make time for personal development by committing myself to things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I try to block time in the morning to read up on current and relevant news and what's going on in our industry, but I also commit myself to educate others, and that's by participating in different events, committing to do presentations, committing to coaching others. And this really forces me to do the personal development that I need, right? Like, because I've committed to something that I know I need to follow through on, and providing that fresh, relevant information is really educating yourself, right? And taking the time to do that. An easy piece of personal development that I think is really listening
Mm.
to our customers, my team. I learn so much from my team and my coworkers. I'm so lucky to work with such talented people and to be able to learn from them and, take notes on different things that I want to ask more questions about. And for me, having someone tell you that you're a good listener or that you've helped them with advice, those are things that are so fulfilling to me.
I couldn't agree more with that. Might have taken me a little bit to learn to turn that listening on,
Yeah,
especially because I feel like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to forget the thing I'm going to say, but
right.
if we forget it, it probably wasn't that important anyway. So just listening to others, great
People
advice.
really appreciate someone to listen to, right? Sometimes people just need that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. All right, let's switch up a little bit. In a lot of the roles women take on, absorbing complexity and making it simple for others is a job. What are some of the solutions that have been most effective for you in reducing the complexity for yourself?
Yeah, I always tell people, I mean, we're in an industry of constant change, right? And it's hard because there's always so many things, external factors that are going on. And, I said, don't waste time worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, or don't waste time thinking about what could happen, right? Because things are constantly changing. Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about those things that you think might happen. Worry about what you can do now and how you continue to drive your success today, right? And I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And I think we can always make something good out of what has happened, right? Even if it isn't evident at first, there's things that come out of change, right? And there's always something good that you can take out of change. And then, when we apply this to work and we're feeling overwhelmed with so many things, I think it goes back to that prioritization that I talked about, right? Like, there's constantly a million things going on, but just pick those few things that you can focus on and give yourself credit when you accomplish those things. I think it's a big deal to do that because we do need to really prioritize to be able to focus, and also I always talk about give yourself achievable goals, right? Even if they're little goals. Hey, I've achieved these things today or this month, and in the next 3 months, I want to do this, right? It's okay if they're just small goals, but give yourself something that you can achieve and feel good about. And I think that's really helpful. And then I'd also say, making sure you have a mentor or coach or even someone to talk to, a coworker, because sometimes when we're going through a lot, we just need to vent. And after we talk to someone, we feel better, right? And we're like, well, okay, that wasn't really a big deal. Like, but I just really needed to talk to someone and I wanted someone to listen to me. So, sometimes you need to talk, you just need to step away from things. Sometimes if I can't talk to a coworker, right, I'll walk away and like go do something fun with my kids, right? Like they make me smile and laugh, right? So, just that being able to like take yourself out of it for a moment if you feel like you're overwhelmed.
I love that. Absolutely. What are some creative or innovative ways that you bring simple joys to your personal life and your professional environment?
Um, I think, I'll talk about too, the evolution of when I finally started learning to set boundaries. And when I realized I didn't really have to say yes to everything, that was a big moment for me. And it kind of happened as I was dealing with some personal struggles, and I wasn't really prioritizing what was important to me and what I needed to focus on personally. So like that kind of forced me to like think like what am I doing? Right? Why am I not putting myself first? Why am I putting these other things first? And I just can't do all this. So instead of putting work first, like really taking care of myself. And I think we always need to look at like, are we truly taking care of ourselves? And are we, what are we doing to ourselves? We don't have to say yes to everything, because when you say yes to everything, you can't be good at everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, especially as I'm a mother, right? As a mother, a caretaker of children, right? Like saying no to some things, and not feeling overwhelmed with everything, because I just think, I struggle personally sometimes, like, am I giving 100% to work and my family, right? And so I think it's that, those boundaries that you put in place. Like, these are the things that are important to me, and I am going to prioritize these things in my life. So, and, we just need to help other women, help other coworkers, right? Like we all deal with different struggles, whether they're personal struggles or struggling with work. So I think, the coaching and mentoring and talking to others, providing that inclusive environment is really helpful. Again, for me, it's really was that evolution of like, hey, you need to change. You can't do everything. And it's hard,
Yeah, I
right? It's hard
yeah,
to say no. It doesn't
very.
feel good to
Yes.
say no.
Yes. You almost feel like you're letting someone down, but by
Yeah.
saying yes to everything, you're letting yourself down, and in turn, you're probably going to let other people down anyway because you're not going to be capable
Yeah.
of delivering everything to everyone all the time.
Yeah.
So great advice. Lisa, thank you so much for being here today and allowing us to celebrate you as our Woman of the Week. You gave such great advice that I know will resonate with many of the community members. So thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. It was a pleasure meeting with you today.
Pleasure was mine. All right. Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Until next time, happy Wednesday.